Hey everybody, Eddie J on crypto. Hope you're having a great weekend. So there are a lot of things that we need to get through, so I'm going to be hitting my notes a lot, and let me see if I can get through it real fast, right? I took 2 days off, but there's a lot of stuff going on. First of all, Luna and Avalanche teaming up, even doing $100 million security swap, or treasury swap, sorry. That's big. The FDIC now wants to chime in on crypto, sending a letter to all of the banks or financial institutions that it supervises, saying, if you want to be involved, you better let us know. That is interesting. Yet another country is embracing crypto, Honduras. Side note is there's been a study that says that the more corrupt the nation, the more they're into crypto. Very interesting, right? Singapore's DBS, their largest bank or financial institution, well, they're not getting directly into crypto, but they are creating a $730 million fund to back some of the crypto startups that would start in Singapore. That's kind of cool. Robinhood launched its wallet. Yeah, we'll get into that one. That one's special. I always harp about Cardano. Cardano has projects already rocking and rolling on their layer one. Something to watch out for. I think there's a lot more going on with Cardano and their API. For me, I'm well invested there. Bank of America dropping a note saying, listen, the Fed is responsible for the upcoming recession. Supposedly recession is coming, maybe not. But the winner in the recession will most likely be crypto. Shocker there. Mastercard. So Meta is not the only one that's actually in the whole patent and trademark game. Mastercard just filed for 15 compared to Meta's, I think, 8 or something like that. So sit back and say, wow, there's a lot to unpack there. And finally, Warner CEO, Jason Kilar, says that blockchain is coming to Hollywood. Really? Really? Okay, done with the synopsis. Let's start to dig in. So, Terra Luna, is digging and building a deeper relationship with Avalanche. Avalanche has a really strong layer one. So there's $100 million treasury swap between the two groups. That means that developers on the blockchain, on their blockchain, Avalanche will be able to, or Lunatic's blockchain will be able to create cross-chain applications. That's kind of a big deal and increases the reach, right, of both. Luna is on fire. Or as some of my kids would say, fire. Anyway, that to me is kind of a very big deal. So keep your eye on that, because I think Luna is going to wind up shooting up. And of course, Avalanche will definitely take off because of it. Not much there, right? So you have the SEC, the CFTC, both trying to figure out what their role is in regulating crypto. And now here's the FDIC saying, well, we don't regulate crypto, but we regulate the freaking banks. And if a bank wants to get involved or a financial institution wants to get involved that we insure, they better let us know. More to come on that, I'm sure, right? So indirectly getting involved in the crypto game, but not really putting themselves against the SEC and the CFTC with whatever they're going to do. So that's going to be interesting to watch that play out. Quick note, Honduras is embracing crypto, which is why I dropped that other note of the more, I'm not saying Honduras is shady, but the more shady the country's government, the more shady or the more adoption you have with crypto. Gee, I wonder why. But with the bust that happened in Australia with, teaming up Australia and the United States to bust some people with drugs, Bitcoin ATMs, money, cash, and coin, you sit there and you kind of go, where are you going to hide? What are you doing? What do you think you're going to do? So there's a lot to unpack with all these countries getting involved. And I keep saying, countries that have not so strong a fiat are going to be involved with crypto. What does that do? That detracts from whatever they were using, their own fiat, the dollar, the euro, the whatever. It starts to make you think and wonder, wow, all those space shows talk about credits. They don't talk about anybody's credits. They just talk about credits. So that's interesting to me, because I'm a kid. That's what we do. Singapore's DBS is not going to be allowed to do services directly with crypto, but they started a $730 million crypto fund to back companies that are doing crypto in Singapore. Now that is interesting, because that says that they want to have some kind of a play in the space, and I think that's good. Just because I happen to like Cardano, I happen to like the product, anything else, you start to realize that 1,000 projects on Cardano on fire. Don't sleep on Cardano would be I try to teach them. All the news I'm bringing you is about looking forward. What can affect you going forward? Not just about, what's here and now. Everybody's going to tell you about what's going on here and now. But it's how to identify things that are going forward. Elon Musk buying into Twitter. Of course you knew he was going to say something about Doge to Twitter. So guess what? Doge shot up again. But it took Shiba Inu with it. So that's something. We'll get into that when I look at the numbers. Now, Bank of America saying that there is a recession coming. They're laying the blame on the Fed, right? Not saying that, hey, this problem was here because of the pandemic. No, they're saying it's because of the Fed. And I just sit there and I just go, wow, really, guys? Really? How about you look at what had happened? Had we addressed the pandemic when we could have addressed the pandemic, maybe we would have been able to limit the number of people that passed away from the pandemic. Maybe we've been able to limit the people that were affected by the pandemic. And we would have been able to limit the longevity of the pandemic. That said, they're thinking that crypto is the space to be in if the recession happens. Real rocket scientists over there with those analysts. Good job, guys. Good job. And gals. Good job. Mastercard making big moves in the crypto space. 15 patents being filed, right? Now, the patents being filed, let me go here and look at my notes, because this is what's going to be interesting. The patents cover fintech, crypto, and metaverse-related technologies and services. Here's the problem. There are a lot of companies that exist in those spaces, a lot, that are possibly already performing these things, but might not have thought about filing for patent. Now, it's not to say that they will get the patent, right? But if they did, I think that it would be possibly quite difficult to actually defend the patent. So it's going to be interesting to watch, Meta and Mastercard and everybody else who's filing for patents. Because when you file for a patent, what does that mean? It means you want to control something. Well, crypto has a problem with people controlling things, right? It's mostly decentralized. So gonna be interested in watching that play out. Good job, guys, putting yourself on the wrong side of things. Just saying, I think that could be a bad thing. Might be a good thing for the company, might be a good thing for your stock, but for how long when companies go, yeah, nah, we're not having that. Because who do you sue if it's a DApp? You have companies that are investing in other companies because they're doing some cool stuff, but they're investing in anonymous people. They don't even know who the names are. They're just putting money in. Stop there. So, it's going to be interesting to watch how those patents play out over time. Something else that I'm thinking about is, WarnerMedia talking about, blockchain is coming to Hollywood. Well, digital came to freaking Hollywood and they slept on it. And then they took a whole bunch of people, Hollywood and the music industry. Then they wound up taking a whole lot of people to court. Well, You're sleeping on it now, and you're saying it's coming to Hollywood. What do you mean it's coming to Hollywood? What do you mean coming? It's already there. It's already there. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Not about it, but with it. That's the question that everybody has. Let's get into the numbers, because I think the number is going to tell us a lot, right? It's been, for all intents and purposes, a crappy few days. But I will share with you the idea that, yeah, we're at 34, we're deep in fear. Fine, I'm fine with that. If you look everywhere else, we've been deep in fear, come up. We've been deeper in fear, we've come up. Just pay attention to what's going on. We got deep in fear. Look how far the fallback came. Not much. The pullback came. Not much. Bad news came. Not much. This is why I'm believing that there's a lot of pent-up positive energy that's going to wind up skyrocketing. Remember, it was just what, a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, we were in greed territory. Greed territory. There's a lot of pent-up positive energy that's going on. As I told you, 1,000 projects on, Cardano's blockchain alone. They just got started. So when you think about that, you sit there and you kind of go, yeah, I look at it, I sit there and I go, this is buying season. It's buying season. You wait for a little bit of a pullback because maybe you got FOMO. You're not going to get FOMO with all of these coins, most of these coins, the greater majority of these coins being so far off their highs, except for Near Protocol, which is just like gangbusters going up. Good project, nothing wrong with the project. Is it any different than any one of the other layer one players that are out there? I don't think so. I think it's cheaper than a lot of the other layer ones that are out there, except maybe a Cardano. That's only like, a bucket change. But it makes you stop and wonder why that particular protocol is going nuts. I know why. I want you to do your own research and find out why. Because it's going nuts. It went nuts for a reason. Anyway, you're looking at, I'd say one level down, two. So one would put you at the high here. And then the next one is about here. The third one. Okay, so you're about in the third layer of where Bitcoin is bouncing around, right? Okay, I'm not worried about that. I'm not upset about that. I'd sat back and wondered for a few days, well, is it going to go and hit 40? Will it hit the 40,000 mark? Yeah, no, not really. So I'm thinking that it's going to hover around here for a while and pop back up. I think it's going to pop back up and maintain levels. And I think the reason why is because Bitcoin has hit that 90% of crypto, of the coin done. 90 or 98%, I forget the number, but it's done. You're fighting over the last pieces of crypto for Bitcoin. And I sit there and I just kind of go, now that's interesting. So it's that scarcity in Bitcoin is leveling off, right? It is what it is right now. I look over here because I have the fireplace going and I just want to make sure everything's good. And it is good. It's nice and toasty here. So I think about these things and I just go, wow, Bitcoin is a place that I want to play in. To get a broader picture, look at where Bitcoin is, 42,356, Ethereum at 3,200. Obviously, those are the big boys in the space. You look at Solana, was up to what I think 121 a couple of days ago. Now it's at 111. Still a buying opportunity, people. Still a buying opportunity. You're talking about what, 10%? It's a 10% move. That's good enough for me to buy in. I mean, you know my rule. I like the percentage. I love the percentage gain. Any gain I love. Perfect. But if I can do multiples in gains, that's a big deal. Now, if you were paying attention to what I've been saying in my videos for the past little while, you've seen the Solana bounce a few times, more than a few times. You could have doubled your money had you played the ups and downs of Solana. Day trading. A lot of people talk about, you got to hodl, you got to hodl, you got to hold. I'm one of those people that says, yeah, you hodl some crap, you hodl that stuff, but then you play with other stuff. Just because you're hodling some Bitcoin or some ETH, whatever it is, just because you're hodling doesn't mean you can't have another pool that you're playing with. Just saying. XRP down at 75. It was at what? 80 something a few days ago. You know, Polkadot, Peridot, that's actually my birthstone. Sorry. But Polkadot, $19. Okay. Near protocol down a little bit. Okay, I'm cool with that. Avalanche is down a little bit. But remember, they've got something brewing with Luna, and Luna is nuts. Luna has a pullback, but look at where Luna is. Let's go see where Luna is. Here's Luna at 91. Right? Luna was at 91, or is at 91 now. And just a few days ago, it was, 100 and change. And you sit there and you just go, oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. But here it is back at 91, and you know it's going to go back over 100. So if you said $9, a 10% move, $9. I want to make 10% on my money. I can put my money right here and make that 10% in a few days? You're not going to do that with your bank. This is why I keep telling people, get used to the rhythms of what's going on with the coins that you're interested in. Pay attention to the rhythms. Identify them, pay attention to them, and see if there's something you can do. So long as macro events push things down, you're going to bounce around within certain areas, and you'll bounce around here, and you might dip a little, you bounce around, you go back up, but you're going to bounce around. Good news, pop. Right? Good news, pop. There you go. But I'm saying that when I look at these things, I've got a lot of coin that I'm holding, and I have a lot of coin that I play with. And this is why I play with it. This is all the way down, looking at Shiba Inu is down all the way down. We'll just call it 25, right? It's all the way down to 25. It's been all the way up to 30, 31. Something to pay attention to. It's a lot to pay attention to. Look at Doge, fighting to get back into the top 10. It's at 15 now. Let's just take a deeper dive. It's at 15 now. Where was it? Let's take a look at 7 days. A few days ago, it was at 17. 30 days, where were you? Yep, 17 is the high mark. So even though Elon has opened up his mouth about, Doge, the first pop came from Elon just buying into Twitter, and Doge moved. That was movement because totally different sector. Why did it move? Because everybody was hoping that he would say something about Doge and Twitter. Well, he did. So it came down off of that pop. Then he said something directly about Doge and Twitter. A little bit of movement. But did it really pop? Again, I point to Elon said something, and it used to, move Doge and sustain a while. Now it's moving Doge within the intraday and then dropping. Pop, drop, intraday. Something to pay attention to. Now, if he is capable, because he changed his filing from being a passive filing to being an active filing. Right? And that's actually a very big deal, because that says he's going to be an active investor. He's going to talk a lot. He's going to try to do a lot. So if he brings Doge, does that give Doge utility on Twitter? Maybe. It means you can use Doge on Twitter, but will people use Doge on Twitter? Maybe. Maybe. If my only reason to hold Doge is because I'm doing business on Twitter, then I'm gonna use Bitcoin, right? I can use Bitcoin. Where's the utility? That's what I'm paying attention to. Cash App, Bitcoin first. Everybody's doing Bitcoin first. When I pay attention to these things, this is what I'm paying attention to. So just pay attention to what you're doing out there. Do your own research. You can listen to people like me that are bringing you news, bringing you events, bringing you even thought processes, how I look forward. And every time I'm looking forward, I'm looking at what's going on now, but I'm also looking forward because I'm going to, some of these companies, they drop a press release today, and tomorrow or next week or the next month, hey, we're going to do something. 2 months from now, hey, we did it. That's the pop. You get the immediate pop right here. People make money. Then it pulls back. It coasts. It bounces. And then, hey, we did it. Bam. it goes up, most likely sustains. Right? This is what I'm talking about. So do your own research, gather your own thoughts, and see if you can start seeing ahead and not just reacting to right now. Because reacting to right now brings you FOMO, fear of missing out. Start paying attention to what's there, because there's a lot of money to be made. But again, if there's a lot of money to be made, there's a lot of money to be missed. And I'm not trying to do that as I grow my bag. Because for me, that's what it's all about. I do these videos so that my kids one day pay attention and they go, oh, Dad's teaching us how to grow my bag. Exactly. Anyway, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you continue to have a great weekend. This is Eddie J on Crypto. Do me a favor. Show me and my kids that, Dad's doing something right. Like my video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that when I do take a couple of days off and I come back, you know when I'm dropping a new video. Have a good one. Bye-bye, and thank you.